Hello there. Hi. It's me, Zen. Yeah, that's me today. Depends on what world I wake up in, who I am. But it'll be Zen here in this one, I'm pretty sure. I think that's me. What do you guys think? Yeah, cool. Good morning. Or grand rising, whatever you like to say. Not sure what you're allowed to say in this room to inspire people. Yeah, let's talk about how your vote has never and will never matter. Because if your vote mattered, the corporatocracy, the corporations wouldn't let you do it. Or if you think it's your country, it's not your country, it's your company. We'll talk about some language. Let's talk about the root words and ideas of, say, something like democracy. If you even understood what that meant. And I'll wait a few minutes to see who shows up. And then we'll dig in here. What up, Skull? What up, Dave? Where should we start? What was the title? I had a bunch of words in the title. Demo-Crazy, democracy, voting. Oh, the illusion of participatory democracy, and the illusion and the delusional people. What it takes to be delusional. There's a lot of them out there these days. What else? Did I put words or sword? Yeah, sword is word. But I think the key here, the root is why your vote doesn't matter. And if it did, democracy would be. Let's start with the meaning of democracy, and then I'll try to explain some to you. And I say this because a chick's channel on Instagram, it's called Free and Sovereign or something, Sovereign and Free. And if you understand what the word sovereign and freedom means, then you'd understand why it's confusing. A post that she made. She made a post. She's free and sovereign, apparently. So that's her tag. That's what she is, free and sovereign. And she made a whole post about how she went to the voting booth. She went to the voting thing, and the voting thing was screwed up. So she waited. She was making sure her vote was going to be cast in the ballot. Like a sovereign person would never vote. You would never vote for anyone to enslave you. You're participating in the system. And I'm going to explain to you why a non-vote is actually a vote. It's a vote for something else is what it is. And I'll tell you why even if you don't vote, it doesn't matter. If you do or you don't, it should matter. It should matter. It should be counted. Let's talk about this. What's up, Amara? Oh, nice, man. You got some poppies. Good stuff. Oh, enjoy that, man. Yeah, there we go. Why do you think the vote matters? Sorry, girl, I'll have to call you back. Sorry, somebody just called me. But okay, let me root word this out. So democracy, when you break it down, it really means rule by the mob, meaning that the majority situation should win. Well, pop doesn't, and then you got county things. So there's not really it's not a Democrat. It's not a republic. You know, they call it a. People want to put different labels and names on it, but they're joking themselves. You don't live in a democracy. You don't live in a republic. You live in a corporatocracy. I mean, if you're land dwelling and you're sovereign and you're freeman on land and you're all of those words, if you're a part of the soil, you know, that's a whole different thing. But if you say take part in the larger system and you understand what it is, it's in no way, shape, or form anything other than a corporatocracy. Always has been, always will be. I mean, maybe in the beginning it was not so much. It was more of a you know, closer to a republic. Go read that book, The Republic by was it Plato? Anyways, if if it mattered who got more votes, and let's just start with this too. Why is every race that you see, it's always been confused. There's always something going on. There's a ballot. There's missing Chads. There's always there are Chads too, huh? How about them Chads? And then now we got the computers don't work. And then before, like, there's always something awry, right? But how is it always 50-50? Like, you know what I mean? The races are like 49 to 51. People don't really, people are not really that divided. How did they come up with, here's the solution. We'll get half of the people who think this and half the people think this. Well, the dilemma is that's giving you that's giving you a view that half of the people around you voted like that. When in reality, what percentage of people are actually voting and how many people aren't voting? So if you really were in a democracy and the most number, the majority wins, because the democracy is mob ruled, means, you know, just because there's more doesn't mean you're right. And if I don't vote for it, why should I have to deal with what everybody else voted for? I shouldn't have to, right? I didn't. If you two right there want to argue over eating corn pops and eating Cheetos or whatever your breakfast cereal, the Cheetos, you could probably eat that for breakfast. I don't know, or whatever the hell you eat for breakfast. Just pick two cereals: Frosted Flakes and corn pops. And you're gonna pick that, and you're gonna pick that. And I say I don't want either. But your rules are in your little silly game that you're playing. If there's 10 people, 6 people say I want corn pops, and 4 say, well, then everyone's eating corn pops. So the people that didn't want corn pops have to eat corn pops, but that's the game they played. And I say, well, I don't want any part of it, so I'm not going to eat it all. Why would I eat that? I don't want to participate in that. I'm saying I have no confidence or faith in anything that's going on here. I want nothing to do with it. I will have nothing to do with it. Right? Now, in reality, the amount of people that vote for blue, for green, for yellow, for red, so we'll just use the blue and red. The amount of people that are voting for red versus blue versus the people not voting, there's more people that don't vote. In reality, there's more people that do not vote. In reality. Somehow they convince you that 160 million people voted last time around for presidents. You're not even good at math. How many people exist? How many people exist in the United States? Somebody put it in there. Do the math for me. We've done this before. How many people live in the United States? Last I checked, it was like, I remember it was 330 million. That's the whole population, including the people that can't vote, the people that wouldn't vote. You know, there's no way 160 out of 300. We'll say 300 and say 400 million. I don't know. The math doesn't work out. Just first off, but let's just consider the number of people that don't vote versus vote for red or blue. There's more of us that don't vote. So why wouldn't we win? Why wouldn't we win the selection? Because it's a selection. You think you go and hand a piece of paper in? First of all, they might be counted, but it's going to be off. It's not going to be correct. They've already selected who goes in there. If you think it's otherwise, you are damn foolish. You are a fool. You are an absolute clown. And it's even more so befuddling to me that someone would call themselves free and sovereign and then go vote. Hey, who do you want to control your life and tell you what to do? I'm free and sovereign. Well, you got to vote for one. Okay, I'll vote for the red one. But an actual free and sovereign person is like, nah, you got to vote. Like, actually, no, I don't. Like, yeah, you're right. I just tried to convince you did. You're smarter than we thought. Why would you vote for your own enslavement? But in reality, if they want to play the democracy game, they would say, well, here's the grand population, because it has to control the grand population. Then if 30% of people voted red, 30% voted blue, and 40% of people didn't vote, then 40% wins, because it's supposed to cover the whole population, right? So our rules should override the system, correct? Wouldn't that be how it works? No, that's not how it works. Well, then if you're playing the game, the rules apply to you, not to me. If I don't play your game, then the rules don't apply to me. If I don't go onto the basketball court, then the rules don't apply to me. If I don't play Monopoly with you, you can't. You can go ahead. I'm not playing banker. I'm not playing this. Then the rules don't apply. Wouldn't that be how it works? And you're saying, no, you have to play the game. So you have to pick one of these colors. I'm like, I don't want to pick a color. Do you understand that the foolishness to believe that every single, all they're doing is seeing if their propaganda worked, because they're gonna show you. I mean, lately they're just showing you like, hey, here's what we're doing. We're putting fake ballots in over here. We're doing this over here. We're gonna screw up computer systems. They're showing you right in real time what they've always been doing. See, they already know psychologically how to control mass amount of people. They know how to do it. Of course they do. They've been doing it for a long time. It's like how to control societies through media devices and suggestive things. And it's high technology. You got high level psychologists, scientists, and all this shit. They know what they're doing. They're just saying when people, they're just saying, well, here's what we're guessing. We're guessing we want this person, and they're going to get this many ballots cast. No, that's after the fact, because you realize even if you voted one way or other, and it was like, oh, more popular vote, more in the right places, the person that has to cast the electoral college, they do that in January, and then your president comes in February. You think something happens in November? You're goofy. And they can change their mind. They can put anybody they want in there. They don't have to listen to you. They literally don't have to listen to you. All they're doing to see is how many people will go out and vote, and if it goes the way that they thought it would. And right now, like, if you were paying attention at all, there's no way that more people see the people that just became awoke. They would never vote for the blue team. They would be completely idiotic to vote for. More people are actually going, we need to vote red. And I look at all the voting things that are going on, and I'm like, how is it 51 to 49? How is it 50.5 to 50.1? How is it so close? It couldn't be unless it's rigged. It couldn't be. It could not be that close. It's either people are wide awake and just go, I ain't even touching that. Fuck that. I have nothing to do with that. It doesn't matter. It's either that, which I don't believe there's enough people that woke up that much, but people that were into politics. There was more people that were like on the fence in politics, and they would probably vote. And there's definitely more people that were like, if they were voted blue, they just kind of don't. They're just like, ooh, they know inside, they're not even going to vote this time. They ain't even going to vote. The people that voted blue that are smart enough, they just not going to vote now. They don't know why they're not. Or they went and voted red. Nobody in their right mind, nobody that voted red is voting, nobody that was Republican was voting Democrat. Not at all. It would never happen. You'd have to be brain dead to believe that. Completely out of your fucking mind. But somehow it's 50-50. There's either the blue people not voting because they're dead, they're old, they have or it's fake, or it's rigged, or it's completely, proof is in the pudding. Who won in Pennsylvania? Who won? Have you ever 1 second listened to anything he said? The fact that he somehow beat a dude that actually has a brain, you could say he's bought and paid for, but like that Dr. Oz bought and paid for, so be it. But you'd have to know they all are. At least you have somebody that has a brain. But somehow this dude that I really think he'd have a hard time telling between. I think he could probably lick a waffle iron, an iron while it's on and not even know it's hot. I don't know. Like, I think there's something like seriously wrong. Like, something's not functioning. Like somebody took out part of his brain. I think he has a frontal lobotomy. What Tom Waits said, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. So your vote doesn't count. It doesn't matter. And if the system worked in a real democracy way, then whoever doesn't vote, those people have actually spoken louder by saying nothing, that we will not be part of this completely deranged system. But that's not happening. And and if there's any places that the blue team won again, it'd be like a high school team beating an NBA team. It's not happening. It'd be like a high school team of um, paraplegics beating the Team USA. It'd be like dropping a rock in a pool and thinking it's gonna outswim Michael Phelps. I mean, this is insane. And these people then somehow they get the public at large to believe that's actually what's happening. To say the king has no clothes is an understatement at this point. Anybody know that story? Who's up in here? Let me see who I've missed. Skull's in here, Mars in here. Oh no! Did the mic get screwed up the entire talk? Tell me the mic was screwed up for that whole fucking talk. What up, Johnny Dez? It's all predetermined. Okay. There we go. What's up, Melvin? Okay. Okay. Oh, Amara, thank you for letting me know. Okay. What up, Melvin? Okay. So somebody said mic check earlier, but good. Okay. So you're telling me there's only 300 million people. So we got 300 million. Let's just do the math real quick. So apparently, the last presidential election, there was at least 160 million people. That would say 81 million for Buckaroo that's somehow the president, right? And that would be 80 million for orange guy. So that's 161. And then you have all of the other parties that voted. So we're up to 165, 170 million. How many total votes? 170 million out of 300 million. Mathematically, that's not working out because you can't vote until you're 18. And then there's all sorts of like the population, like we're already getting rid of 0 to 18. You cannot vote. So that how many people are 0 to 18 years old? Well, a 1 day old till 18. What's the population there? I mean, if 80 million, so take that off the top. So you're telling me 220 million people? So there's possibility of 220 million people that could vote. Possibility. And you're telling me 170 million out of 220 million people voted? Uh-uh. Uh-uh. You can't believe that. That's moronic. It can't be true. It couldn't be true. It's impossible. There's old people that can't make it. There's everyone that I ever met. I don't know too many people that vote. Go to any inner city. How many people do you think are voting? Go to the really rural areas. They don't give a shit. They're taking care of their farm. There's a lot of people that do not vote. A lot. There's no way that math works out. They'll show you one line on the news that's really long, but the rest of them, that's all. You know what they do? They go to they'll go to a place that's the majority of people in that area will vote. They'll go to that building and then they'll go to the front and they'll be like, make sure you slow down the line. We got to get a picture to make the people perceive that people are out here voting. And then they put that on the news. Look at all the people standing in line. There's more motherfucking people that stand in line to go to Walmart for Black Friday. More people, yeah. These people they're just holding the doors at the voting thing and letting people just line up, stand in line, just to make it the illusion of people voting. There's not that many people voting, especially this last. And everyone, like again, how do you come to the conclusion that it just so happens that almost every time it's half and half? Doesn't seem reasonable. It just wouldn't shake out that way in the real world. It wouldn't unless they've got the algorithms on people's preferences to the point where they go, we realize that Democratic voters, if you're voting Democrat, liberal Democrat, if you're voting that, which if you look through the years, what used to be a Democrat, what's a Republican has flip-flopped through the years. There's core values that have changed, just so you know that, if you really studied American history, world history at that, whatever. But let's just say, Democrats right now vote for a color. They don't care about anything else. They just go, oh, I'm voting for this thing. At least Republicans have a little bit of, well, I don't know if I like that guy. I don't know if I can vote for the red team this time. They might just vote. They might. There's more people. I know this for a fact. I know there's more people that are Republican that would vote independent. Most people should be independent, right? And then go into it and go, well, maybe whose side am I on here? Can I vote? Can we really be independent and vote Green Party? Could you be really independent and vote Natural Law Party? You don't even know what that is, do you? You don't even know who runs for that, right? How do we get stuck in this red and blue divergent? You know that. How do we do that? It's not two kinds of people in this fucking world. There's a whole litany. There's a whole. Everyone has a little different opinion and idea on all sorts. You can have a couple key issues, sure, but you can't vote just over one or two key issues that have really no impact on your life. But no, we still have the illusion because people are, Democrats live in a delusional world for the most part. It's very apparent at this point in time. You're like, oh, you must vote, you must be Republican. No, not at all. I grew up neither. I grew up centrist, perhaps. Probably leaning more liberal. Yeah, probably leaning more liberal. Now it's just they've it's like an Ouroboros. It's like when you have the dragon, the blue dragon and the red dragon eating each other's tails. And so the farther you go back, the farther you go off the board, you actually become. If you become so liberal, you immediately become conservative. You become so conservative, you act like a liberal. If something means liberal, if you understand what liberal means, extra, like you're being very liberal with what you allow. If you're conservative, I will hold back and restrain something. But yet, if you look at their actions, it's quite apparent that liberal people want to restrain your ability to do things. They want to do anything they want. They want to restrain your, but they do the whole dialectic where they'll blame it on you, blame it on everybody but themselves for their complete chaotic, ignorant, arrogant, flippant nature. It's quite a sight to behold. Yeah, so the predetermined, it's a selection, not an election. They just want to see how their propaganda works. What's up, Danny Skylark? Melissa, yeah, it's all a farce. I did enjoy your poem. It was a little quiet. I couldn't. You should. I know you do like an ASMR whispering thing, but you should turn up your volume or something, or stick the mic close to your mouth. Yeah, that's that. Danny, you said multidimensional population strange. I would I would vote. Why don't we just vote for the purple team? Who votes purple? You got to vote green and purple, dude. Natural Law Party, green and purple. They've convinced you. I mean, George Carlin told you this, and they were telling you this long before even he was. He's like, you have the illusion of a choice. You don't have a choice in the matter. They give you two options, this one or this one. What do you call that? You think that's choice? No, choice is choosing not to. Or you can choose, 60 breakfast cereals, but
two political parties. There can't be just two ways of politics. There can't be. You could have a differing opinion on one viewpoint. Here's one thing. Here's one issue. So we might differ on one issue, but this other issue we might be the same on. This other issue we might have flip flopped on what they expect. There is a whole. There can't possibly be just two. Like, well, what's most important to you? Well, you know what's most important to me, that you believe in Jesus. Other people are like, I believe in freedom of dressing up my children and fucking cross-dressing my children and letting them make their own decisions about if they want to cut their genitals off. That's what's important to me. And then I have then you get the other people, the big dum dums, the NPCs, the goofballs that go, oops, I can't. I got to side with one of them, and I don't want to be against these people because they're loud, they're angry. I don't want to be against them, so I have to watch how I do this. Like I gotta be for that. And what they do, they virtue signal. If you guys didn't figure out the word virtue signaling in this past couple of years, this is what people do all the time. And one of their virtue signals is very much clear that they don't want to disrupt. They don't want to speak their truth. They don't want to speak facts. They hate it because they don't want to get yelled at. They don't want somebody to go, rah, rah, rah. I can't believe I can't believe you have a point of view and an opinion that's not like ours, that's loud. Oh, we're loud and we have all the colors and look at us. And also we wear masks and we wear black. The same people, they wear masks all the time and all black, and they're like, oh, here's our opinion on things. And the other ones are wearing like all bright colors, cutting their bodies all apart. They wear masks too. They have something in common. And they're just loud, but they're all very, very inside. They're unsure and weak people. This is you can be certain these people are not strong. And physically, mentally, emotionally, they're unstable. These people, it's clear they're unstable. And then you have the moderate people that don't want to offend them because they know they can't offend me I'm sovereign. I don't want anything to do with this. You can't offend me. Take your opinion. Do that. I don't care. Let them do that. They can cut their shit off. I have friends that tattoo themselves and cut their shit up and have titties and so on. I don't care. But then you got the people that are moderates that go, well, these Republican people, that they actually are God-fearing people, and they're not going to attack me. The only thing they really care about is they're going to preach religion. But I've already heard that. But now these people out here that are really, really loud, I don't want them to be mad at me. So they're going to take a virtue signaling, moderate position of agreeing with, even though I don't really agree with them, of I just want to rock the boat. Don't bother me. Just leave me alone. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I agree with this. They allow for the habitual line stepping of ignoramuses. It's like how people, you ever see people that don't know how to raise children? They have no boundaries, no borders, no fucking, for their children, you have to be the adult here. You have to be the one that knows something. You have to be like, no, you can't do that. There has to be that. And now people are like, oh, I got a free range child that just run amok, screaming and shitting and being whatever the hell it wants. And that's the way it will learn. Hey, I'm all for open source learning. I'm all for kids, it's called discovery learning. I'm all about this. But there does have to be, for learning to occur, there has to be restraints. You can't just, you're gonna let your 1-year-old just leave the doors and windows open, and now your kid's learning to crawl and walk, and don't put them in a just let them sleep and walk and do. They'll figure it out. They'll figure out how to walk down the stairs. They won't walk in the middle of the street. You have to be clueless. And these people, that's what they want. They just want like an absolutely. They're not anarchists. They're ignorant. They're without any. And see, we have people that let their children just run all over the place, and they're stupid. They're ignorant. They're arrogant. They're narcissistic. They become psychopaths. They become sociopaths. And then those are the people that end up, because we go, oh, do whatever you want, because we don't want to restrain the child. We don't want to harm anything. but we'll let them go and control what your perception of reality is. We'll let them go and run the systems. Yeah, go ahead and let these idiots control all the buttons. Let them control the stock markets. Let them control how, here's how an engineer would put something together. Let's just let them figure out how to be an engineer. We're not going to show them anything. And they're going to go fix your car for you. You're going to let them fix your fucking computer. Right. Because they're going to discovery learn how to do that. Yep. See if let me see, any of them play team sports? They don't know teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. They've never played team sports. They've never physically combated anything. I guarantee none of those people played football. They didn't play soccer. They didn't play any contact sports. They had no teamwork sports. But they'll be happy to scream and yell and be violent, but they don't know anything. Yeah, right. But if somebody screams and yells at them like that, they'll start crying. Oh, I can't believe it. I can't. They told me to do something. They told me I was holding a knife wrong and I shouldn't run in the kitchen with scissors. And you try to correct that. So, as to better their life and make them less fucking pathetic weaklings, try to help them, and they can't accept it. And we've allowed the parents, by dictate of the state, to lower and lower the bar of reality, to allow the least, the weakest, the dumbest, the filthiest, the scummiest among us to somehow steer the ship and tell us what to do. Y'all need to like, what's that called when the captain shouldn't be driving that ship and you're just like, there's more of us than him and we just got to get the captain away from the fucking who's steering the ship. Because the kid's sitting there with the helmet on and drill bucket and like, oh, I don't know if I'm a man or a woman. Oh, I'm going to pay all of you to shut up. And we're going to let that thing steer us to a new world, to a new land, to something wonderful. No, they're gonna steer you right into an iceberg. They're gonna drive you into something like, I didn't do that. It's amazing. Restraints. Ratatouille, that's so funny. I was watching Key and Peele yesterday, and they were talking about Ratatouille. Yeah, virtues are over. A virtuous life is something that's reserved for people that have any sort of wherewithal. To have virtues, you have to. It's like saying having morals, ethics, and virtues cannot exist without wisdom. You can't run through life and people can't just give you a virtue, give you an ethic, give you a moral. But this is how people live. They go, well, I read a book and here's what it says, and here's why I'm going to live a virtuous, moral, ethical life. According to what? What standards? And then I can go through all of the philosophy of do you want to go through do you want to play philosophy 200 level courses and go through all of the different, you're not going to be able to do it because you never even studied that, but somebody just gave you a list. Here's what we do. You don't even know why. And that's where you upgrade from knowledge to wisdom. You know why you do something. And so then your morals and your ethics and your virtuous nature, you'll always be virtuous, but your morals and ethics are a little bit more, you're not always going to do the same thing because every situation calls for, this is a big conversation that people have had, and a lot of people don't like it, but I'll explain to you as I always do. You would never think it's a good idea to kick a puppy or to kill a puppy. You would say 100% ethically, morally, as a virtuous person, you would never kick or kill a puppy. I know this, and you'd stand by that. Like, what if that puppy runs up and bites your child in the face and won't let go? You can just let that happen? Just maul your fucking child? Your virtues, your ethics, and your morals are going to go out the fucking window real quick. If you have any reality, you would take that dog, rip its fucking mouth off of your child, split its head open, and punt it out the fucking punt it. And then you would probably axe that dog and murder it and never let that dog see the light of day. Wouldn't you? I know you would. And that's not even off just emotions. That would be morally, ethically, and virtuous to do. You would save your child. You wouldn't let that dog do that. Or would you? Because you're an ethical, moral, you've here it is, box up your morals and virtues. What do? Never kill anyone? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You eat meat. You wouldn't you'd eat a cow, but you wouldn't eat a dog. Yeah, right. Not in certain circumstances. You don't kill anything. Oh yeah, but you hate your neighbor, and they're no good. Lock them up, throw away the key. Fuck them. But I'm a vegan. I would never harm an animal. But I hate humans because humans have a different opinion than me. So these virtue signaling weaklings, these moral and ethical, it's a conundrum, and life should be that way. It's the simple thing of what's the number one ethical moral compass game that they show you. Number one is a train is going down the track. If it goes straight, there's 5 people on the track that this train's going to run over, and there's one person on the track to the left, but you have to go and hit that switch. If you do nothing, that train goes over those 5 people, kills 5 people. You could, however, hit a button, change the switch, and now that train goes and runs over 1 person instead of 5. But you have to make that choice. What do you do? Well, the dilemma arises because you don't know who are those 5 people. Who is that 1 person? Let's change your morals up here. What if that 1 person is your mother? What's your wife, your husband? What if it's your child? And all those people are criminals. Would you let the thing go straight then? What if that 1 person is the worst person ever? Just criminally insane. Doesn't care about anything. Murder, rape, kill, anything. The whole 9. And these 5 people are wouldn't that be an easy thing to hit the button? But if somebody else is there, might not hit the button. But you got to make a choice because that train is coming. You can't sit here and you can't dissect this all day, can you? You have to make a choice. You don't know who the fuck that is. Maybe you look over and you go, oh shit, maybe in that group of 5, there's 1 person you know in there and you like them. But maybe in that group of 5, there's somebody you hate. 1 person you hate, 1 person you love. Oh, now it's getting really crazy. And that person over there is a baby. Now what are you gonna do? Now your morals and your ethics are dog shit. Now you don't know anything. Now you are just as confused and completely, well, that would never happen. I'm not going to play that game. That would never happen. Yeah, but it happens all the time. Not to that degree, not with those kind of odds, not with that kind of, but those kind of, little miniature versions of those things happen on a day-to-day basis for everyone all the time. And your ethics and morals are constantly changing and morphing. If you think they are, I'll show you. I can show you. I'll walk around with you today, and I'll tell you every time you're hypocritical. I mean, I expect you to be. I expect myself to be. I'm a person of large ideas. Things are going to change. I'm going to have one set of things, and I'm going to go. I can explain what changed. Change one little thing in here. You've changed the whole system. So your ethics and morals and your virtues are trash. You're hypocritical. It's the nature of reality. There's nobody that is absolutely virtuous. It doesn't exist. Yeah, Dave, thank you for that one. Why do politicians have to speak on their religious views? Isn't that insane? Because I thought that politics, government, and religion were supposed to be, isn't this separation of church and state? if it's separation of church and state, then we would never, and we should never, ever in any way know anything about politicians' religious beliefs whatsoever. But yet they conveniently tuck that in there with the four major things that they talk about are all religious based. And they'll tell you right away, they're Baptist this week, they're Catholic, Christian, they're what, Protestant, whatever the hell they want to name themselves. They'll be that. They'll just label themselves, but they'll make sure that you know about what religion they are subscribing to, and then four major tenets of whatever their religious beliefs are. And I thought that was not supposed to be involved in the state. I thought that was actually 100% not supposed to happen. It should invalidate everything that's ever occurred, right? You want to listen to that Wax song, If I Was a Turtle? Dave, thank you. Yeah, shut the fuck up, or what would you? It's like all these people out here that continually are going on and on about things that we've known for a long time. And let me try to give you an example here. The way the school system works, the way the pharmaceutical companies work. If you don't already know, you're probably not going to want to know, and you're probably not going to accept it. So there's no use. So when people are out there trying to explain to everyone, like I do it only with the intention of saying, don't participate. If you are on the fence, get the fuck off the fence. Pick a side. Either you want your kids to go to public school and be indoctrinated by that system, or you don't. You either want to go to these doctors and have them, like, of course there's some good things, and there's a small minute number of doctors out there that are, if you have critical emergency type issues that you got a bounce need to be set, or you have some sort of, like, yes, of course they're important, and of course there are some small amount of pharmaceutical drugs that are of very much importance, certainly, but most of it you shouldn't be participating in, right? It's like, but these people out here continually, they'll tell you that, but they don't have an actual solution to the other side. They just go, oh, this shit's bad, don't do this. Yeah, but do you know anything about water? Do you know anything about gardening? Do you know anything about organite? Do you know anything about meditation? Do you know anything about, these other things? Can you show us or implement these practices rather than just go, well, let me explain to you again how this system works. Yeah, motherfucker, we've been knowing this. You're new to the game. Why? Just shut the fuck up about it. What do you think we should do? especially in politics, man. They don't know. They have no clue because they're working for dead corporations. Commerce, yep, commerce, capitalism, necromancy. It is. Isn't that what a corporation is? A corpse? Is it necrophiliac, dead bodies? Necromancy is corporations. Corporations is commerce. Commerce is in commercialization. Yeah. What do you mean distracted by foreskin? Yeah, remote controls. Yes. Good question. What do I think the magicians who control this reality do, which gives them so much power? Well, the major ones are psychic vampires, and they're feeding off of leftover energy, and most of it is what you perceive as negative energy, fear, and all of this negativity. They feed off of that, which is in the more subtle realms. We'll put it that way. The less physical realms, that is radiating in and around all of reality. And they figured people are going to be like this anyways. And the architects and the people that are controlling the reality, put out a fear-based mindset, and they get vibrations and energies to work, because everything that is positive, love, and light has to have its equal opposite measure. Reality cannot exist in a vacuum. There has to be homeostasis. There has to be a balance. So the more they go one way, they just go, okay, fine, we'll feed off the other stuff. So this position of neutrality, of centricism, neutrality is maybe the correct place to be. I mean, you can take a little bit of an opinion, though, because you're gonna live in duality. You're gonna live in sine wave duality. But you live generally speaking as a neutral to the either position. Then there's nothing for psychic vampiric forces to feed off of. Then you can use the energy, your own, and whatever's going on around you. You can use positive or negative. It doesn't really matter. It's just it's like saying, like we were doing, like I was explaining yesterday. You can use alkaline or acid. You know, there's alkaline batteries and there's acid-based batteries. You know this, yes? Look it up. Here, what do you think's in your remote control? Alkaline or acid? What do you think's in your car? So we can use either acid or alkaline, positive or negative. There's for everything that's, you know, you can use electricity, you can magnetism, but they're bound together. Remember this. So if you're in a neutral position, you can kind of feed off of either side. I mean, by feeding, it just means, I don't know. But there's people that, I think the people that are in the most position of power they kind of sit from neutral. But then the people that are controlling the realm, they've noticed that people are easily influenced to be negative, that they're using what they would call the black magic, the dark arts. They're using the negativity to push something for themselves. You could use that same negativity to turn power into everything. They just don't see the purpose in doing that, because then they would lose their power. Because everyone would be equalized power. They could bring equilibrium and balance to the realm by still using the negative energy, but then they would just put it into different spaces. But instead, they just collect it all for themselves, which at some point they're either going to explode or implode. You put too much into a system, it's going to overload, and then in reality they're going to in a big way kill themselves, because they'll ingest too much of one thing. You took too much, man. You took too much, and they're like, you know, you can only have so much control, so much power before what do you have control over? Once you control everything, then where's your delight? Where's your joy? You turn everybody into a robot and there's no humans to deal with? Well, I bet you'd hate that world. You can't be that. You'd be like, where's another human to control? And you won't have one. And you're like, holy shit. You don't even realize it, but you've gotten rid of every other living system and you're surrounded by robots, and that's all you have. Emotionless. And then that will bring upon to these people empathy and emotion, because they're like, holy shit, there's just plastic. There's just robots. There's no real feeling. And they'll go, holy shit, I'm surrounded by how I acted. feelingless, like plastic, where they never once wanted to hug a puppy. They never once cried at music. They never once helped someone out. It was always just obtain power and control and dip switches and plug, yes. That's what will happen. But yeah, I mean, the visualization helps. If you just want to get right to a general source of power for individuals, visualization helps. And correcting your energy imbalances inside of your body. Sorry, I went off on a long tangent there, but I think that's important. Fun times. Yeah, see that what you just said? Yeah, to end up just deleting themselves. It's crazy. Yeah, Danny, they did. They want to play real-time video games. What's up, Gary? What up, Gary Baxter? What you doing? Damn. Damn, Melissa, that's crazy. Yeah, you told me part of the story. I didn't realize that part. That's insanity. Which is crazy because I thought you lived in a sort of normal area. I mean, I live in somewhere where apparently that happens often. I mean, I apparently New Orleans is like number one crime-ridden city. And like I've been here for 13 years. I've never seen anything such like that in my life. I've seen plenty of fistfights. I've seen plenty of people, you know, pull up their shirt and have a, packing shit. Like, but I've never and I'll walk outside. I'll show you where I am. I'm I'm not too far from places, But damn, that shit's crazy. Kids get younger and younger. See, older G's, they're not down with that. They're not down with that bullshit. Kids gotta they think this is how you act. They listen to music, they watch the old shit. This is how you gotta act. This is how I get my respect. And all of a sudden, there's your respect. Enjoy the afterlife. Gary, back to virtue signaling. Yeah, virtue signaling. Well, you say religious zealots. What we must understand too is religion and being a zealot isn't reserved for like religious. To be religious doesn't have to be inside of a religion. Scientific people, people that want to claim everything science, that's a religion. It's called scientism. It really is. And there's aspects to that because there's people within the scientific community that disagree with each other on little bits and pieces, just like the Bible, little bits and pieces. So then they branch off. But within that, they're still zealots about their belief in whatever the result of was the science. Excuse me, the scientific method. There is no the science, just like there is no the religion. There's a scientific method and there's these religious paths. When they come to a conclusion, they go, well, that's the right. Unless they're really doing scientific methods, they do this thing again. They go, oops, we made a mistake. We miscalculated. And here's a new thing we got to throw in the mix. Oh, I changed my mind. No zealotry, nobody being a zealot there. But when it's all bought and paid for, you have plenty of people that virtue signal within the religious community. You got plenty of people that are virtue signal within the scientific community. That's what it said in Scientific America. Yeah, that's what it said. That's what it said 2 years ago. That changed. Science changes all the time. Religious ideals change all the time. So yeah, the idea of religious people is not static towards. I mean, it's static. It's not just for people in what you'd call there's God, there's this, there's Muhammad, there's Jesus. It's not just that. There's science guy. That's it right there. That's the science. That's their God. But yet it's just not. It's just not true. They say science the same way people that go, God will save the day. God is. That's what they do, and they go science. Yeah, but show me the method. Show me how that works. Explain to me how this God works. Explain to me how your science works. Because this guy over here is saying the science that you're coming to, the conclusion you're coming to is wrong. It's not working that way. But he's a science guy too. So he believes in a different God, a different scientific God. Danny, are you a vampire? Danny, I didn't know that was that recent. That's crazy. I didn't know it was that recent. Danny is telepathy. Meditation? Meditation is anything, it's just anything you pay attention to. Like, well, here, let's meditate right now. What do you know? See, meditation you have the empty mind meditation, which is this. And then you find that sound of Om, which is nothing, and you open up your mind to nothing. You get rid of that thought of the past and that thought of the future. That's one type of meditation. A general meditation is go, look at the sun. Look at how beautiful it is. Look at that. Look at the flower right there. That flower is beautiful. You go, hmm. Maybe you could walk through that flower and go, hey, how did that flower come to be? That's a meditation. That flower is your meditation. Look at its leaves. And those leaves are connected to the sunshine and is connected to the earth, and that seed came from somewhere. It must have used water and all of these things. And that's your meditation, is that flower. Your meditation could be um, going from a simple thing to complexities of how does that occur. It could be absolute nothingness. It could be the splendor of everything. Meditation is anything you want to be, as long as you're paying attention to it. If you maintain a type of focus, whatever it is, you can meditate on. Watch somebody stitch together a. Ever seen somebody make a carpet or do a painting? That's a meditation. For them, I don't know where their mind is. I don't know what they're doing. That's a meditation. You could call it OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder. OCD is no good if you're just walking in the house and you got to turn on and off the light switch 50 times and then make sure the stove is off, and you got to itch yourself 6 times before you go do that and do this and that, and you're not really paying attention. That's not a meditation, but it's OCD. But now if I take that OCD and turn that OCD into meditation, it is, let me get my paintbrush and fine tune this and make sure to square this off. Now we make a beautiful painting, not just some random, not like you, because you have a vision and you're like, I'm gonna make this painting. Still obsessive compulsive, but we'll call it an OCO, obsessive compulsive order. The disorder would be, why are you flipping on and off that switch? Makes no sense. There's no value to it. That's disorder. Same mental process. So within that OCO, OCD is a meditation. In an OCO, obsessive compulsive order, the meditation is there's some focus. There's a reason. You're rationalizing it. You're considering it. You're realizing something. Yeah, you're like, oh, There's a rhyme and reason to what you're doing. Where the person that flips on and off the switch and this and that does that shit, they're clueless. They have no to be aware, to be conscientious. Well, it's conscious, not conscientious. Two different words. Be conscious and aware of what you're doing is not, if you're flipping on and off that fucking light switch 60 times, that's not conscientious or conscious or aware. Same method to painting something, but there's an outcome to painting and perfecting something or doing a repetitive task. Amara, who does Danny does Danny communicate with any deities? Is she not communicating? Hey, Danny, are you not communicating with me? Am I not a deity? Have you forgotten? Amara, have you forgotten who I am already? You don't know I'm a deity? Shh, don't tell anybody. Gary, WEF, you mean World Economic Forum? Yeah. Yeah, Amara. Yeah, it was you and a couple other people we talk about, like vampire, like auric field. I mean, some people can see it. You can see the subtle auric field, the extra energies are out of body. If you've been out of body in different realms, you'll see it occur. Um, Yeah, but how does the fact that they feed from humans give them power? Well, because they're not feeding from humans necessarily, because every human, if it's a robot, then I don't know how they're feeding off of it. If it does have a spirit, it's feeding off the spiritual energy. Everybody that's walking around, I mean, maybe we could say some are robots, some are NPCs, and they're just doing jobs. They're getting something done in the physical realm. But a person that has spirit in them, they're feeding off of that on the other realms. Like you can't really see it here, but you can see it here in the sense that Joe, your neighbor, works at the factory, and they're paying him $3 an hour to make, you know, rims for a car, and this guy's making $100 an hour. So in a physical reality, energetic money, currency, that currency, that's happening on another level up too. Danny, I think you're wrong about pheromones. It's not fear of moans or fear or moans. It's pharaoh, like the pharaoh, and moans, the pheromones, not the fear or moans. Moans. You fear of morons. What the fear of morons? The night can they are. mm, It's hard to say. I don't know what you mean. Night can. I don't know. I like the nighttime. I don't find people at the night to be predatory necessarily. There's obviously more witching hours and vampiric hours and werewolves and things. Those type of things. Those type of energies come out nighttime. The nighttime is the right time. The full moon comes out, and then you have because the lighting is different because where the sun is and where the moon is, and light that's getting reflected or refracted off of these whatever the hell we think they are, plasmic balls or coming from other realms, whatever those are, we see different in different lighting, and there's different energies. So yeah, I suppose they could, but there's also in those times, there's also must come out things of bright light that are protection. Because if it was only predators at night, the realm would have already been taken over, and that's all that it would exist at night. But that's not at all. That's not. Yeah, I've watched just as many assholes in the light of day. In the light of day, you see assholes taking advantage of people. Predatory loans. Go to a banking system. They're doing it in the fucking light of day. The daywalkers. But at night, I see people, then they're just like they're just doing their damn thing. I would say there's more predators that are around in the light of day than there are in the darkness. So you know what you're whatever I became. Danny is so like goofy sometimes. Whatever I became, dude. Just answer the question, Danny Delane, Skylark, DeLuna, De Pescuy. What up, Skull? Oh, Danny said, I have not yet stopped coming. Oh my God, I'm coming. uh, oh, speaking of coming, if you guys want to come all over my Cash App or PayPal, that'd be excellent. It is, I think. Oh, it's the 11th of November, so it's 11/11 or 9/11. Depends on if you use the month Nueve 9, or if it's because it's November, it's the 11th. Whatever, it's 11/11. Poof. Also, yeah, if you want to, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and so it's 11th, and I got to find a new place by the end of the month, and so I need dollars and cents to do that. And if you guys would like to see me inside rather than outside, freezing my ass off and being a fucking recluse on the streets, which you guys wouldn't see me because I wouldn't be wasting my time doing this stupid shit with you. Yeah, you can help me out. CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, TSAR, capital XEN. And you can also find me on my WordPress if you want to read shit. And if you need any help one-on-one, there's my email and all that stuff. There's my commerce section right there. Donation section, in fact. Yeah, Danny said I can't tell you how many times I've died. It gets boring. Yeah, somebody the other day said well, somebody was a really cool channel, and I like what they put together. It's like an in 5D Astro School on Instagram, and the guy he knows his shit, but he says you can't. You notice you don't die in your dreams because if you die in your dreams, you'll actually die here too. I'm like, no, sorry, bro. Unless I know something that other people don't know, I've become rather professional at dying in my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a quote from American Gods. Um, but like I've died in my dreams. Does that mean I'm immortal and he's just not? I, Most people probably haven't because most people are unaware of their dreams, lucid, astral, out of body. These are different realms, but you don't die here unless I just come back to life every time. I'm sure Daddy does. Death is always defeated. Yeah. What's up? What's up, Parzival? What are you doing? Yeah, the middle med. Yeah, just take the middle path. Fucking pick your focus. Skull. Yeah, he's growing on me. He's definitely growing on me. I mean, I get it that you don't get to that level of something without participatory in some certain things. But yeah, he's all right. I've come to give him his due rewards. You know, I don't think like there's a lot of people that if you don't listen to everything they say, you might just take snippets of what they say and go, "Oh, that person's an idiot or a clown." But if you take the whole book, take the whole thing, you go, "Oh, maybe there's something to learn there." Yeah, he's actually what he's doing is he's using the energy is what he's doing. So he uses the energy. He's producing it. Like there was just yesterday. I'll tell you how he's using energy. He got like banned from media and stuff or whatever, but now he's on other media. Like he's not allowed on these things, but he's on like these TV shows. And then he was on somebody else's channel, and he was testing the waters and getting energy off of this. That he was gonna have a fight with Jake Paul or one of the Paul brothers, and so like they did like a whole thing. And I know I see what they did. It makes sense. It's just like if I put this out here, it will get half the people hate him, half the people hate me, some people like me, some people like him. I don't know. Most people hate him, but a lot of people hate me. Let's see if we can generate some buzz mentally and talking wise, and maybe people will watch, maybe they'll listen more. Yeah, it'll look like a fight. It could be scripted, it could be not. I don't know, but they'll make some money off of it. Not like he needs any. Not like either of them need any money, because that's not the purpose. It was for him. It's for the purpose of paying the fuck attention to what I'm saying. Who do you eat for breakfast? Me? Got a glass of wine here. What do you think? Moratophobia, the irrational fear of dum-dums. Well, skulls. I like that. Chronophobia. I don't think that's irrational. I think it's a very rational fear to have. What's up, Hey Joker? Was that a piss burp? No, it was. It does look like piss in the cup. It's a wine. It's a wine burp. It was. I had some coffee and some guava kombucha. And this was for the bubbles, and then the wine was for the chocolate. You know. Yeah, kombucha I can only do at certain times because if I'm going to be out, I'll make it very simple. I don't want to have to shit all the time in public. And kombucha, if I ate, it's the difference between if I'm just eating or if I'm drinking or I'm eating. Then it depends on when and where I can drink kombucha because it's going to clean up your insides and make you have to shit and feel like taking two messy, filthy dumps in some random bathroom. Yeah, that's one of my favorite songs, Danny. That's why I love the moon. Will Smith movie Spaceballs. Oh, Will Smith, what are you talking about? Well, you got the Golden Fleece, and you got. That's funny. I was watching the Golden Compass yesterday. The Golden Compass. You ever seen it? Great movie. Gotta watch, and it's called His Dark. Um, oh, it was a series that they just His Dark Material. So the Golden Compass. Go watch that, and then there's 3 seasons of His Dark Material. The first 2 seasons, I seen the first one. I didn't even realize the second one came out. It came out in 2021. And then season 3 of His Dark Material comes out in December. And so you got who's Technicolor Dreamcoat? Who's that? Joseph. Jason the Golden Fleece. And yeah, I was, is that what it is? Jason the Argon. I thought it was Jason the Argonauts. The Golden Fleece, that was somebody else. And it was Joseph and his Technicolor Dreamcoat. Is the mic reset now? Okay. Is the mic reset? And I'll get back to it. Sorry. Is the mic reset?
It's fixed now.
Okay, let me get back to the question. But the mic's okay. Hey, if I do this, is somebody gonna be like, I knew he just did the thing with he was like, I was just saying, is it okay? You're allowed to do that, you can do this one too. You can do that one. You can do anyone you want. Okay, we good? We good though? Okay, good.
Since the vamps feed from
Everything, are they the ones at the top?
I mean, you have to assume so, because they're immortal. So the show I did yesterday, I didn't get into. The idea is vampire robots. So you got vampires, robots, and then magicians. But robots don't really count because but it could be that robot could hold the consciousness, So robots could be like in Westworld, the idea of Westworld. It could be holding a consciousness. It is a robot. But the idea that, see, magicians can die. Go watch the originals. The most powerful being in the originals was Klaus. Klaus was a hybrid vampire, and
wolf guy, right? Now the weird thing always was the vampires knew magic but weren't allowed to do it. I couldn't quite understand it. So somebody wants to explain it to me. Maybe it doesn't work that way in other books and movies, but the originals, vampires weren't allowed to really use magic. But the most powerful ones are always vampires. I mean, but then they were more powerful because they became daywalkers because they were using something, the magical ring that they were given through magicians, right? So I would say the it'd be vampires and magicians than werewolves. If you got to play in that kind of game, because I just don't see like if you're immortal, like how do you don't lose? You'd figure it out if you're around for that long. You'd figure it out. There's nothing. What's quicker? What's more powerful? Like who's more intelligent? If you're around for that long, you're gonna figure out a lot of shit. What's the comic that you wish you could bring back to life? Oh, I don't know. Dave, I've never really been into comics like that. A lot of my friends are, and always trying to explain them to me. And I mean, I like DC and Marvel and all this. Like, I like the movies, and I got into comics for a little bit, but like as a kid, I wasn't, not really. Now I understand them and get them like, oh, that's actually more real than the shit that they're giving us. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay, back. Skull, you got the box set, the Golden Compass. Yeah, his Dark Materials. I don't know where the mic was out, what you guys missed, but his Dark Materials is on HBO. Yeah, that's about the size of it. So the energy they get is like then because they're getting the energy, and again it's like I think Amara, I'm not sure it was you or somebody else that we were talking about. Vampires were eating etheric energy. That's on the astral etheric. This is why vampires here don't. There's no you don't see people out here just sucking blood. But that was their downfall. Is that actually eating, like sucking the blood because they didn't need the blood. They were already using psychic and astral energy to to use that energy to manifest the body. And then they got in the body and was like, oh, they went down a level and degraded themselves by eating of the flesh and sucking blood. But in turn, what they did is they gave people immortality. And people get mad. They're like, I didn't want to be immortal. Well, what did you want to die then? You could have happily died then, but you're a vampire. You still can die. But they're like, oh, you've given me this curse of being immortal. Well, I mean, they're immortal to a degree that you can still kill them. Like, there's still the silver bullet. There's still the stake through the heart with the specific kind of wood. I mean, there's still ways to, right? So they're immortal to a degree. So it's not like so they do a gift. They do a service to people. How many people want to be? And they're like, I don't think you want to be. You know how difficult it is being immortal because you get rid of that T in immortal. You better you better loosen up your morals because you're going to become immoral to many people. You become very immoral. I mean, at least your actions will look immoral. But if you see how things function in reality, you'd make choices that seem to it would be bad right here for this situation, but in the larger scope of things, it makes complete sense. She's laughing at me. No, you are not laughing at me. You know who I am. Well, you don't know who I am, but you've seen my dumb face before. Wait, hey Dave, I don't. What we talking about? What did I miss here, Dave? Maybe I missed some of your comments. You said you meant comedian. So, oh no, bro, I meant comedian. You meant a Klaus then? Yeah, I mean that's always the one that I get. Like whenever people meet me, like I'm like, hey, have you ever seen the? Have you ever seen the originals? I was like, which character do you think I am? 100% of the time, they're just like, oh, you're fucking Klaus. Yeah, Dave, maybe I missed some of your comments here, but scroll back. Oh, oh, oh. Okay, here I got you. You said, what's the one comic? Not comic, like comedian. Oh, okay, I got you. I get what comedian that's not around anymore? I mean, that's easy. Who wouldn't say Carlin? To to I mean, I wouldn't want to bring him back just for the sheer like fact if he was already like, are you looking at this dumb shit? He's like he wanted to be done. He's like, I've been here for too long. People he said it plenty of times. He's like, people on an individual scale, individually, I love people. They're great. They're wonderful people. But once you start putting people into groups, people suck. They start to they give up their autonomy, they give up their individuality, they give up their creativity, they give up their opinions, they give up their everything they believe in for a group think. And people start to it's the same thing they said in the Matrix, you know, about people people in groups, man. Once you start grouping people up, man. Yeah, I don't. So to bring Carlin back to look at this shit show right now, I think I think he would have a field day. I think he'd be shitting all over the world right now. Like who like how many times would they have tried to cancel him? He would have laughed and said, "Fuck off! You can't cancel me." See these you got a bunch of these like pussy bitch ass comedians that are like, "Oh, I can't say this because it might get me canceled." But then you have other comedians that go, I'm uncancel. You can't cancel me. Like if you cancel me, it means you cancel me. The rest of the world will pay attention. Like they're not gonna. My audience is not gonna. If you cancel, you make me actually more important. That's what some of these comedians are doing. Those are the good ones. The ones that say I'm gonna say whatever the fuck I want, and okay, you cancel me. Who you from what? From this tiny group of stupid people? What you mean? Stupid people aren't gonna listen to me because I'm not gonna kowtow to their bullshit. Bring Carlin back. He would eat those people for breakfast. I mean, because you already have Carlin is a mixture of he would be a mixture of Jordan Peterson and um, Bill Burr and what the hell is his name? British dude. Why am I tripping on his name? British dude with long hair. Oh, Russell Brand. If Carlin came back, he would be Jordan Peterson meets Bill Burr meets Russell Brand. They're all Russell Brand is extremely intelligent, extremely articulate, humorous to boot, and comedian first, spiritually second, and then you have the philosophical, downtrodden Jordan Peterson that is so scientifically and this is the studies and very, and then you've got a Bill Burr. It's like fuck this. And if you made a stew out of that, that would be what Carlin came back on steroids doing to people. You couldn't cancel that. He would. It wouldn't be a field day. It would be too. It might even be difficult for him because there's just too much going on. Every second he'd have 10 new jokes. You can't keep up with the stupidity of what's going on in this world right now. Oh shit, yeah. Patrice? Yeah, Patrice. Okay, how many do I get? Okay, we'll go with the easy ones. Of course, Patrice. Patrice would be. See, Patrice never became when he was around. He was never that famous because I can't really explain why. He was too much of a ghetto philosopher. He knew too much, and the way that he explained it, the way he when he made jokes, it was so over the top in your face that you had to respect it or you didn't understand it. There was plenty of people that couldn't understand his humor because they weren't that like Carlin across the board. I don't care where you stood, you could understand what the fuck he's talking about. But so he was that kind of philosopher. But the ghetto philosophy, it was only leaked into the larger culture after he died because then, and I'll explain to you why, then he couldn't attack you anymore. So the people that were like, I don't know if I can listen to this, all of a sudden it just leaked into his ears and they're like, I can laugh at that. He's not, he's done making fun of rich white people and stupid bimbos and like he's done shit on women and then women could listen. Then white people would listen because he's not around anymore. So we can go, whoo, okay, that's funny. That's funny. He came back, people were like, oh shit, people be shitting their pants. Yeah, Patrice was a fucking beast. Greg Giraldo. There's three. Yeah, I'm man centric on my comedy because for whether you like it or not, women have a hard time being funny because they're too emotional. They're too connected to their emotions, so they find things often to be offensive and unfunny. So therefore, it comes out in their style of humor. So there's not gonna I don't there's name name a woman comedian that you would bring back. Which one's dead? And they've all been dead to me. I don't know who's funny. There's a couple out there. I kid. But I take Bill Burr's road on it when some chick is like, Bill, do you think women, it was somebody was interviewing him and he goes, I don't give a fuck. Yeah, some of you women are funny. Just go do your damn thing. Like, you can't get into the men's club, but we can't get into the women's club. So just go do your fucking thing. We'll do our thing. If you're funny, you're funny. But you backpedal and you kind of dance around bullshit and you're like offended by everything. That's why you're not funny. Funny takes a fucking set of balls. It takes like willing to cross some lines and do some shit and say some shit that whether you like it or not, not a lot of people are willing to do. A lot of bitch ass dude comedians. To tell you the truth. Osho. Yeah. Osho is not strictly a comedian, but he had jokes, man. I mean, yeah. Then if you go at philosophy, I mean, I wonder about some of my favorite philosophers and people that were always like on this, like the Alan Watts, right? And these people that were always like in the 60s and 70s and even 80s, they were always like, oh, we can manifest this great world. Tell me what was going on from the year 2020 till now, 2020, 2022, until now specifically. Hopefully, there's not a dead crackhead in front of my house. Hold on, let me look. I want to see. Gotta see. Somebody, crackhead out there? I don't know if you could hear it. That was some Amber Lamps that stopped. Anyways, yeah, I would. So those people that were all about like, hey, you can manifest this great world. Like, well, what's going on right now with 2020, 2022 to even what's going on here with this nonsense? Explain to me how that you're supposed to, interject and get your manifestation on. I mean, I think Alan would have a field day with it, laughing. But then these people, they're always about like, here's what we can like. Excuse me. Did you notice affecting the world? I don't know how Sad Guru got through it. Did you ever see that fucking dude wear a mask? I don't know. But then again, we know what he's part of. He wants you to get us. He wanted you to get that. He wants you to take them weird drugs. He wanted you to. He wants to decline the population. I know what his actual. Most of what he says is awesome, but yeah, Osho would be in there for sure. He got jokes. What did I do an accent? What accent did I do? What the hell are you talking about? Which one did I do? I'll crack a beer to that. Cheers. It is Friday, and I have to go. I have to go find. I have to go. I have to go find Seifel. I don't know where the fuck he is, but he is unaware that it's going to be cold for like the next 5 days. It's going to be down in like the 40s and 50s at night. It's going to be like 60 during the day. So I don't know what his. I don't know what his. He's looking like, but uh, I gotta. I have to go get a hoodie, and a pair of pants. So if anybody wants to, CashApp, PayPal, Venmo, you can help me out with the hoodie. And I'm a cheap date, so I don't need that much. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get a used one. But also, I gotta see. I gotta make sure he's okay. I don't know why. Make sure he's gonna be warm. Because I told his mom I would do that for him or something. And what he's talking, and also Danny, what did I do an accent? I don't think I did. Hmm. So I think we got the comedians out of the way. What else did I? What other comedians? It'd be Geraldo. Osho would be hilarious. The philosopher Watts, Carlin, Patrice, obviously, you know. But Greg Giraldo would be a good one. That's another one that like a lot of people don't know that they should know. He was too sharp, and he was like one of the only people. Funny enough, he was like one of the only people that could really like man up for real, with Patrice's level of whimsy, with it the way that he observed the world. Highly suggest if you haven't heard him talk. He would just eat other comedians to their face and just laugh at them. Like not even like he would cut deep. Where when Patrice cut deep, it was only because Patrice is like, I know I'm a fat ass and a fucking donut could kill me. And so for him to cut you, he would still cut on himself. Where Greg was more like, oh, actually, I am smarter than you. And he had a little bit of edge and snarkiness where at least Patrice didn't have that. Where the only people there was only a few people like even like Bill Burr and some people are like, yo, being around Patrice, you just had to accept you lose. Where Greg didn't have that. I never noticed it. Like go watch like Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn. Yeah, watch that. I always found Colin Quinn super hilarious because the way he would stutter over his jokes, I was like, bro, how much cocaine are you on right now? I could understand what he's saying, but the way he would construct what he was always jumping over words. You could still build the story. You could still see it in your mind what he's trying to get across to people. But it was like, dude, I mean, that was maybe the funnier part in his delivery because you still understood it. It was like listening to a hyperactive child. Should I tell you about a balloon he just found? What's up, John Shamanic? What you doing, yo? Yeah, I don't know what happened. Everybody talking. Everybody stopped typing. Yes, 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 indeed he do. Indeed he do that. What time is it out here? I'll be out here. It's been like an hour and a half or so. Hey Jazz. Hey John. We're gonna call you Jazz from now on. I'll kick it with you guys for a little bit longer, but it's 10 a.m. and I have to make it out into public sector today. I gotta go hunt. I gotta go hunt for Seifel. I gotta go to the store across town, and I gotta meet up with somebody for drinks later. So I have a day. I have to get my day in order. I still gotta shower and put some clothes on. Oh, so many things to do. Fuck them kids. What was that? That's somebody who I'd bring back too. Oh, back to the comedians. Bernie Mac. Fucking eyes popping out of his head. Shit. Fuck them kids. Yes, yes. Yeah, why? What the hell happened to him? How come he died? Was that another motherfucker that had a heart attack or some shit? I mean, Patrice, I could understand him just passing on because of. I don't think he was really part of anything. You know, where most people you'd be like, okay, let me gematria his name. But I did see somebody a year or so after he died. It was about the same size that had a very similar delivery. He might have he might have cast a new role, but he definitely did seem like he might have had diabetes and could have had a heart attack at any point in time. But what happened to Bernie Mac and yeah, he was in Ocean's 11, right? And 12, right? Showers are overrated. I know that. Yeah, something like that. Well, you got the Mike IL and the Dan IL. So here you just did hey John, you just did it this way. So John is equal to Zen, 3 letters. The Mike IL, Dan IL, two biblical names. And Shunan and Atman. Yeah, I guess that works. Yeah, Danny's got too many names. Danny's got too many names. Too many to remember. This car. Caw. That would be weird. You know what'd be weird is if we lived in a world that let's say if I as a man, if I were with a woman ever, I would just have to add that name to the end of my name. And if she's with me, she would have to add my last name from my original family to her last name. And if we did that every time, how many and every time you introduced yourself, you would have to give someone so you're born, and so you'd be your name, your mother's name, and your father's name. That would be your name, or something like that. Right? So it'd be your name that your parents gave you, your mother's name, and your father's name. Now I go and hang out with a chick, and she is born, and it's her name that her parents gave her, and her mother and father's name. And I would have to take her name and put it on the end of my name. So it'd be my name, my two parents' name, then her name, and that would be my name. And then next time I'm with the woman, I have to tell her my name, including the chick's name that I was with last. And next time she's with the dude, she's got to use her name, her mother's, her father's, and then my name. Eventually, you'll get to the point where somebody's going to either go, holy shit, he remembered every single person he's ever been with, and he just spit off 100 different names. That's crazy. I can't fuck with that. Or, wow, he must be really good at what he does. I'm definitely going to have to fuck with that. You hear what I'm saying? Willy Wonka. Yeah. Yeah, but John, you hear what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be interesting? So as Danny's name, I'm going to take my husband's name and next husband, and so Danny just like, if it wasn't just marrying someone, but just like just getting dick down. If you get dick down, if I stick my dick in you, I have to take your name and add it to my last name. And if you take dick from me, you got to add my name to your list. Wouldn't that be interesting? And when you introduce yourself, you can say, "Hi, my name is." You go, okay, I can deal with that, I guess. You remembered everybody. you would you would be very much more selective about who and how you had intercourse, because that's how you have to present yourself every single time. So luckily I don't have to do that because there's no way I'd be able to. I don't think I could recite that many words in a row. Here, no sir. Dave, you doubt Carlin or Patrice were part of a club. Patrice was not. Just because you get to be on TV, you all you have to do is have a SAG card, right? And he was on TV a couple times. Carlin, yes. But to get up ranks, you do it. There's a few ways to do it. Most people take the express route, which is you're going to do what we tell you, how you're going to tell you. Or they go, well, you just got to let that man do what he's doing because he's important. Carlin was important and he knew the people, but he ain't oath up on anything. So he just got into movies and said some shit. He wasn't saying anything he was saying everything for your benefit. Nothing Carlin ever did or said that I'm aware of was anti-human in any way. Other than say people fucking, like he just told you like it was. Same with Patrice. And Patrice was, and so in that way, whenever people say, oh, if you're famous and you're in the media or Hollywood, you're all fucked up. You're all part of the club. Uh-uh. And even if people that are part of lower level clubs, they're still not controlled verbally, action wise, by what other clubs are part of. It's just different things they're allowed to say. Carlin and Patrice there was nothing they couldn't say. So they must have played like full on Joker mode, or they just like, okay, well, we can't control them. We'll just let them do what the fuck they want. Are we gonna stop Patrice? Patrice stopped himself by fucking eating himself to death. Carlin got too upset with reality and just got old and died. It figured it happened anyways. You don't need to kill them. That's why Danny has so many names. Yeah, people think I talk too fast. I only talk fast sometimes. And in fact, I'll let you in a little secret here. English in general, people speak slower and people's retention of the knowledge is much less. In other languages, people speak at a faster rate of speed. And when you speak faster, the listener is more actively engaged with what they're saying, thereby retaining more of the information. If someone in other languages and other cultures, this rate of speed that they speak at is faster, more retention happens. If I speed up what I'm saying, you can get 1 hour of information in 20 minutes, and you'll know more afterwards. If I just slow down my words, sure, we want to pick this apart. Which part do you want to get to? Is this more comfortable for you? How can I make you comfortable? Is that the acceptable word that I just chose there, or should I choose a new one? Do you not like that? Have you learned anything yet? Or are you just going to nitpick on the rate of speed that I'm speaking at and the words that you don't like? Or should I just tell you how the fuck it is immediately off the cuff and speak at whatever rate of speed I want? Because if you listen, it's not up to me to listen. I'm speaking, so that way you have 2 ears to listen twice as fast. I have 1 mouth, and if I can speak twice as fast as somebody with 1 mouth does, it would go into 2 ears that you have to listen twice as much with twice as much quickness. You know what I'm saying? Danny, you'd be Danny Delane Yates. Pascua would be the West End. Wow, you'd have so many, so many. See, as I told you, you little Mexican, you filthy little Mexican, Danny. There's way more than that. What are you talking about? You don't know my name, and what's the point? That's not including the ones that you don't think about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is what if you had to think about? What if you had that? That's the point of what I'm saying is you would have to think about if you had to introduce yourself every time. You would have to think about before you got into a relationship to that kind of physicality. You'd have to think about that prior to it because then you have to add it to your name. If that's on a realm that we lived on, a different realm. So you would pick and choose to a higher degree. It would be a whole thing. That'd be ritual work. That'd be like you better know something before you let somebody drop their cock in you, or you allow someone to put their pussy on your penis before you made a baby, before you decided to come up inside his and then pop a baby out. You'd have to give a pretty large consideration to someone's character. You wouldn't just be like just fucking all around the world. Melissa, what you talking about? John Levi? What you talking about? The first names count? Well, hey Dave, I appreciate that. You put me in there. I really appreciate that. Yeah, some people think I'm just talking because I do the I'm just gonna say it. But when I slide in with a little bit of jokes, I'm quite funny in real time. Usually I do this a little more philosophical and educational and shit. When I'm out there, oh, it's 100% jokes. Gotta fuck with everybody. And what do you mean, Melissa? Do first names count? No, here's how the rules work. And it's not rules. I'm pretty sure I know that this is how it works on other in other dimensions. My mommy, let's see, mommy and daddy, ma and pa, they produce me. They give me name. My name is Zen. My name is Zen Ma Da. Zen Ma Da. Okay? And then you have a mother and father. They produce you. Your name is Melissa. You got Ma Da Melissa. But you'd have your Ma Da be Pa and Ra or something. Whatever. When if me and you, we would consummate relationship, and as soon as we go, you have to add my name. Me. So now your name is Melissa Pa Ma Zen, right? And my name would be Zen Ma Da Melissa. We have a relationship. Good time. We hang out for a little bit. Weeks, months, whatever. Good time. And we go on our ways. Next time I meet somebody, my name is no longer Zen Ma Da, it's Zen Ma Da Melissa. Girl goes, okay, that's fine. And I said, what's your name? She goes, my name is Danny Delane Skylark. Oh, so Delane Skylark is your parents' name. But she said Danny Delane Skylark Pascua. Okay, then I know there's one. She got one body in the bag. What's your body count? Literally body count. You have to understand why kids be saying the shit. They don't even fucking know why they're saying it. I'm telling you why. That's a body. That's the body bag. You got body on you. Once you've had a relationship with somebody, that is you've done something there. So now you're connected to them on another realm. Seriously. So you add that to your name. So we go, okay, cool. So now I hang out with Daddy. We have what we consummate, we consummate a relationship. We have time together, whatever it is, and we go our separate ways. Next time I introduce myself, my name is Zen Ma Melissa Danny. And her name is then Danny Delane Skylark Pascua Zen. Now, every time we have a new relationship on this realm, we have to add that person's name that we were with to our last name. And when we introduce ourselves, we have to introduce ourselves that way. You would very quickly pick and choose more precisely who you would have a relationship with. Because when you met someone that says, my name is, and they go through a list of 20 names, you'd go, oh, I don't know if I want to get involved with that person because I'd like to have a longer relationship. Or maybe, I don't know, that's been a lot of dick in there. Or that dude's been really, fucking everything that moves. He doesn't really care. You'd have to really consider. It would change up relationships by a lot. And there are realms like that. So what I'm saying is I could never repeat my name on this realm. It would take too long. How many hours you got? I can't even remember them all. And that would be part of your thing. You'd be like, yeah, you should remember. You should remember. I couldn't. Oh yeah, thumbs up, like and all that shit. Yeah, good to see you, John. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, I remember Ice-T Body Count. Yeah, isn't that the album that put him in front of fucking the dumbest shit ever? The fake ass court case about freedom of speech, and they as a fucking witness, who did they have? Uh, what's his name? Charleston. What the hell's his name? They had him read the lyrics off the Body Count album, Cop Killer. Remember this? Charlton Heston. Charlton Heston. If you don't think the whole thing wasn't just a made-for-TV freedom of speech bullshit, and you thought that was really going on, you're clueless. They got Charlton Heston somehow to stand up for the rights of the Christian nation or something by saying, "I'm Ice Cube," or excuse me, I'm Ice-T. This is my album. It's called Cop Killer. I see another blue coming down on my expletive. And he would just go through and he started reading it like a fucking jerk off, completely dismissing the value of what was being said. And he's an actor, and they're gonna put that on TV and show that to you. You think that was real? No, it's just it's 1984 bullshit. Thought police. So what it happens when you know only the first name? Well, that's the thing that's what I'm getting at, Melissa. You only add their first name. You don't add their whole family name to you. You're not fucking their mother, their father, or their last person. It's just their first name. You don't add last names. That wouldn't make a lot of sense because the last name would be the last dude she was with, and I'm not fucking that guy. But I would know that last guy existed by her explaining her name. Yeah, so you wouldn't, because what I'm saying is you wouldn't live in a culture or society where you would introduce yourself as, hi, my name is Melissa, my name is Zen. You wouldn't do that. You would say, hi, my name is, and then go through your names. Go through the bodies. Two bodies that created you, the one that you interacted with on a physical realm, and now you're connected to on a more less dense realm. Yeah, does that make sense now? So at what point is it like, I mean, I would assume the general lifespan in that realm would be something like 1,000 years. Because no matter what, a relationship, no matter how good it is, no matter how much you love and care and whatever, at some point you're gonna be like, all right, the sauce is gone. The whole like the sex is good. It's been good. It's been great. I love you, but I think we both should, move on in our adventures. And you'd go, hey, that was a good 100-year run there. Good 100 years with somebody. That's crazy. But we were around for 1,000. That's a long time. Or you just go, oh, we'll continue to be king and queen, and we'll have, if you're good enough with it, then you maintain your relationship with that, and then you have your, just like in the castles, what did they have? You had the concubines, just the who cares, the whatevers. So those are just, they want to be with the king, right? And then you just want to catch somebody to go, oh, kiss your feet and rub your feet and love you, like, remember when we first got together? If somebody's open with that, if that's your kingdom, go for it. But in reality, you'd probably go, okay, next time you meet somebody, what's your name? You're like 300 years old, and you got a short list. Your name is only so long, and you're 400 years old. Well, then either you're a really, people, the person you're with, you're a good lover, and you've been in a long relationship, or you're undesirable. You learn. So there's that balance there too. You've been with two people, and you're 400 years old. Maybe you're undesirable. Maybe you don't have a personality. Maybe you're a terrible lover. Maybe, could be anything. Who's raising the Kundalini? I don't know, Danny. Get it moving. Get it raised. Raise the Jed, huh? So if you were married, then would you take a last name? Would you, if you got just okay? So if you had sex, you take on the first name. Are you saying what would happen if you were married? If you married someone, then what would you take on as the person's name? That's tough. That's a tough answer. Because then would you take on that person's entire family name? I suppose so. I don't know how you'd mix that in. I didn't consider that part. Well, I wasn't considering marriage as a state thing. But I guess you would marry the family to a degree. So I mean, so that would even make you more picky and choosy about who you'd marry. So if would I marry somebody that has 3 names, or do I marry everyone that they were ever with? I don't know. That's an interesting thought. I'll consider it. Who's dying inside? I'm dying inside to take a shit. I mean, that is death. That is the poopies. Actually, poopy is kind of living, isn't it? Especially once you have the kombucha. Okay, 2 hours. I'll dick around with you guys for a couple more minutes, and then I should probably go get. I have to accomplish something today. I have to get a hoodie and pants. It needs to be done. I can't not do that, because if I don't, then I can't really leave this domicile for the next week because it's too cold. I don't have any fucking clothes. How funny is that? If you don't laugh at it, you'll cry. Ain't that fun? And I mean, I could order cheap ass fucking Walmart bullshit. I get it, but I'd prefer. It's cheaper. It's cheaper to get Goodwill stuff, and and the selections are nice. I like other people's used clothes. I do. You find cooler shit. So that's my day. I gotta go hunt someone down and then go over to Goodwill, take a shit, shower, put some clothes on, because it's lovely today. It's like 80 something. It's like 80. I think it's gonna be 83 today by like noon. So I get shorts and t-shirt, and then tomorrow it's down to 63, which means hoodie up, dude. So Friday, last good day. I mean, hopefully the 70s, 80s come back, but I don't know. The weather's been really funky. I don't know where you live or how the weather patterns have been, but down here it's like, I mean, it's November. It's the middle of November and it's still 80. I mean, I get it. I live in the deep south, but it's usually not this warm now. I remember even like 3 years ago, 4 years ago, about 4 years ago, 4, 5, 6, all the way in there. I remember Halloween. Halloween was you had to put on a jacket. Yeah. Oh, well, fuck it. Let me we'll say 2 hours of the show. That way I get my day on the road. It's like 10:20. That'll give me enough time. It's lovely to see everybody. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for the conversation. Hopefully you guys learned something today. If you guys missed the beginning of the show, I don't know if I said anything useful there. I'm probably sure I did. You guys know what's up. One is, if you'd like to, there's my Cash App, my Venmo, my PayPal, and that's very much required to keep my existence somewhat indoors and not outside, so I don't have to fucking eat eat out of garbage cans and sleep like fucking a homeless person with an axe by my side. So dollars help keep a roof over my head, all that shit. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, TsarXen. If you need my help with anything, it's over there, right there on the bottom, or the description box. All the good stuff you need. Contact with me. And you know the rules in life, which you don't need to follow because they're just arbitrary, but I do like them. Be yourself because everybody else is already taken. Be as goofy and yourself as possible. And if you feel like you have enough, your cup is overflowing with, especially if it's money or whatever. I don't really need any gifts right now because that would mean shit that I got to carry around to my new place that I'm trying to obtain. I don't need more stuff. I need less stuff. I just need indoor stuff. Yeah. So give to me if you can monetarily. If not, go help someone out in your neighborhood. Go help out the fucking crackhead down the street. Buy him some crack. Or don't do that. Help somebody out. But good to see everybody. Skull, good to see you, Melissa, Danny, Dave, everybody else. Fucking be easy, be real, be peaceful, be everything, be homeless, be all that shit. We'll talk soon. I'll definitely be doing a show later today, probably from the river with some of my weird friends. Maybe listen to some live music. Bye.